Good evening, this is Melissa with the StockSwoosh.com, and I am here tonight to review Apple for you. I have wanted to do a review of this chart for quite some time, and I'm finally taking the time to do this evening. So sit back and relax, and we're going to start the discussion. Apple is a very successful company, and many people are invested in this stock, and many people follow the price of the stock and what's happening with the chart. We're going to start out with a quote tonight by Ayn Rand, and here it is. The ladder of success is best climbed by stepping on the rungs of opportunity. That's by Ayn Rand. So this video is dedicated to anyone who is thinking about learning how to trade and make money in the market. This video is also dedicated to anyone who's been thinking of learning how to trade gaps. This video is also dedicated to anyone who has been thinking of taking my class, the Golden Gap course. If you are waiting to learn the Golden Gap and waiting to learn how to make money trading in the market, then consider the chart of Apple. And Apple is a Golden Gap. Apple is a Golden Gap to the highest degree. This chart is one of the best and most incredible examples of how a person can make money using the Golden Gap rating system, which is the system I teach, and strategy. Apple is a Golden Gap and has been for months. Apple is an amazing, amazing chart. Trading Apple in the last few months, if you have been doing this correctly, if you've been doing it the last few years, if you were trading it on the long side in the last few years or on the short side in the last few months, then it has been a lifetime opportunity. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to trade the Golden Gap system with Apple. And we're going to go over this today. You know, many times in trading, opportunities come up, and they are like once-in-a-lifetime opportunities. And you have to recognize that when you see it. And you're not going to recognize that if you don't know how to trade when it comes up. And Apple is in one of these positions right now where it is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. And we're going to go over that tonight. So if you're waiting to learn gaps and waiting to learn how to trade, then why? Why? What are you waiting for? Because you're going to miss the opportunity when it comes along. You have to remember that as individuals, as human beings on the planet, we create our own luck. People say, well, this person's lucky. They just happen to be lucky. They're at the right place in the right time. Well, maybe. But you know what? We create our own luck. I create my own luck every day when I choose to trade a stock that is a Golden Gap and the system that I personally created, that I created myself. I created my own luck by creating my own system. So we create our own luck in life. We have to spot it. We have to be able to spot opportunity and or luck when we see it. We have to be able to seize the opportunity when we see it as well. And that takes ingenuity and intelligence. However, many people out there have the know-how. They just may not be able to spot the opportunity in order to be able to seize it. And this is what we're going to discuss tonight. The opportunity in Apple. And you have to prepare for opportunity because that is a huge part of making it happen for yourself. So you don't want to wait until it's too late. Because part of opportunity is timing. Many people miss opportunity. Look at this guy up here. He did not wait. And these people down here waited. They missed the opportunity. They're looking up at this guy, wishing they were him, but it's too late for them. They missed it. They missed the opportunity in Apple. This guy didn't, though. He was ready to go. The simple fact about success is it requires preparation, a checklist, a plan of action, everything you need to know how to do, Learn what you need to know in order to spot the opportunity and then seize it, and you will be prepared to do so. So the simple fact about success is it requires preparation. Boom, that's it. You've got to be prepared. And this, again, goes back to creating our own luck. How do we create our own luck? We are prepared to seize opportunity and spot it and take action. If we're not prepared, then we may not even spot it. And even if we spot opportunity, we may not seize it because we won't be prepared or know what to do when we spot it. So this all comes back to creating our own luck in life, creating our own opportunities. The preparation helps you make money, which of course is the reason that we trade. And how do you prepare? You study, you get ready, and you learn ahead of time. You learn ahead of time so that you're prepared to spot the opportunity and to seize it when it happens, because timing is involved. If you don't learn how to trade now, then you will miss the opportunity when it comes, the opportunity to make a lot of money. And then you'll be looking up at that guy or some other guy sitting on top of the big chair high up who's making money rolling in it, trading. And you'll be looking up at him and wondering, why didn't I do something? I didn't know what to do. I knew I should have done it. What was I waiting for? You know, get ready. Part of success is preparation. It's a huge part of it. And let me tell you something, huge opportunities like what's happening in Apple don't happen every day. They just don't. So this is what we're going to talk about tonight. Timing is everything in life, and timing is everything in the market. So this is a chart of the QQQs. The market has been downtrending towards the end of 2012. And then it's been sideways, and was sideways beginning of 2013. And I've been doing charts in the market for the last few months and calling it finally, in the month of March, that we were in an upswing and we're going to break over the space. And we booped a couple pennies over it actually on Thursday, the last day of the market trading before the holiday. And we will rally now. We're going to rally over the space. I've been saying that for the last couple of weeks, and now we're doing it, and we're going to do it this week. And where we go from here, we'll have to see. But we are breaking over it. We are headed higher for now, unless something happens like the market gapping down, which you would have to gap down to here. That's the first place it could gap down to. Even if the market gapped down to here, I'd have to see how we close on a gap like that. I have a feeling if we gap down to there, we'd pick ourselves up. A gap down to here, around 66.50-ish, 66.70-ish, would be bearish. So unless we do that, we're going higher. Now, gaps can happen all the time. You never know when a gap's going to happen, and the market can gap as well. For now, without any bearish down gaps in the market down to here, I'm calling the market bullish. Because even if we gap down to here, I think we're going to pick ourselves up, just like we've been doing it the last few weeks. Here's a chart of Apple. Same time frame as the market. And look at what Apple is doing. And Apple makes up a large percentage of the symbols that are traded in the market. So let's just take a moment and look at this. All right, this is Apple. And Apple's clearly in a downtrend all this time. And the market is now breaking over this spacey area to push up. And it's probably going to break over these guys. Possibly these guys. The market looks like it wants to go higher and break over this area, an area that it hasn't seen for quite some time, and lift off. And while this is happening or setting up to happen, the market's setting up to happen to break out to not all-time highs, but new highs for the market that haven't happened for a while. And Apple is making a new leg to go lower. Apple is getting ready to go lower. So this gap that happened here, this was the earnings gap. When this gap happened, I knew Apple was lower. Why? I rated it on my rating system, and it rated 23 points on my 26-point rating system. And I knew this was a new gap that was going to make a new leg down for Apple. Now, what happened here? it wiggled and jiggled and even went above the gap a little bit, and people thought this was a bottom, which it absolutely was not, and I knew that. I knew that because of this guy right here and how good it rated. This wasn't the first gap in the Aapl chart. So when you don't get in the first one, which was all the way up here, then you will get wiggles and jiggles. This rallied up to resistance. Here's the resistance. So the first one sometimes will wiggle and drop, but for the most part, many times, the first one will not go over the high at the top of the first gap, the one that makes the first move. Because this was deep into it, it wiggled and jiggled. However, because of the strength of the gap, I knew this wasn't the bottom, and I knew this was going to continue down, and then it dropped off here. And even when this happened here, I discussed this with people, and they were wanting to buy this even in here. People were buying this in here, and they thought because it went over the 50-period moving average that that meant something. It didn't mean anything, because the overall picture of the chart and every gap reading that I'm doing in a gap analysis is telling me that the Aapl is getting ready to make a new leg down here with this. That's exactly what happened, and this continued. It went red right after that. Topping tail red, triggered on a daily sell setup, came in here hard. And remember what was happening. This is Thursday. This is Thursday. This is Friday, or Wednesday. And this was Wednesday. So Aapl is on its own. Aapl is on its own. What is creating this? The gap. So Aapl is getting ready to make a new leg down now. Now, where it goes is a different story. However, the important piece to know is how beautiful this chart is, that you can read the strength of these gaps and know what they're going to do. And look, it's doing it without the market. And the Aapl makes up a percentage of the market, and it's doing it without the market anyways. It is doing it. Aapl is in a downtrend and has been ever since the first gap. So what happened here? Apple's been running up for a long time. And if you played Aapl correctly, you made money in the long side for a long time. Now, Aapl ran up and booped a little bit over $700. 705 something, I think it was, and change. And then came in a little bit the next day, trying to go higher the third day after it made new time highs. So this was all time highs for Aapl at this point here this day. Then it came in, and then it tried again to go higher, and it went higher up a little bit. And then that day actually ended red, and that was a clue what was about to come. If you had been long in Aapl, you could have taken profits in here. Maybe you didn't. Maybe you thought it was going to go to $1,000 immediately. It's been running up for so long. But the reality is, this is what happens to any stock. They gap. So learning how to read gaps is very important if you trade. And actually learning how to read gaps is very important if you're an investor. Even if your money is invested with someone else, that person that's making choices to invest your money should know how to read gaps. Because when these things happen, they're real. When they rate a certain way, which is the system that I have, to help me determine if it's a good one. In other words, if it's meaningful, if this is important. And that's the reason that I know that this thing is going to go down again, and that this wasn't even the end of the drop in here. This is going to continue and break under here because of this guy here. So if you knew how to read gaps, this was an opportunity of a lifetime to get in this stock right here, short. How would you have even had the guts to do that? And a symbol that's been trending up for so long, well, you would rate it, and you would take the trade with conviction, knowing how to read gaps and knowing my system. And you could trade it on the day of the gap, or you could trade it as a swing or core trade. And we're going to go over that later. Now, if you decide to get in this one, you know you're going to have to go through wiggles and jiggles, plain and swing and core trades, because this is what happens when they're deeper into the gap. However, this thing isn't over yet. So opportunity still exists in this on the downside. And when Apple decides to turn, which it is not ready to do, nowhere near ready to do, by the way, when it does, it will do a golden gap in the bullish direction up. And you can use my system to rate bullish gaps. I do not do that personally, although I could, because my system can be used in the opposite direction as far as rating it. And that will be another opportunity of a lifetime. This chart is on the move. And this is an opportunity if you know how to read gaps. So Apple is trending down, and the market is at new highs over the base. This is a bigger picture of the market. This is where the market is right now. And so the market, most likely, barring any quality golden gaps in the market, which could happen, which I was discussing earlier. But if the market continues along its way, it will break over this area and continue. And here we can see this going up to here, maybe about 72, 75-ish. And the market hasn't been in anywhere near this price action since 2001. So we're talking over 10 years. So the market is making this move up to break over this base and carry higher to not all-time highs, you can see back here, but new highs over here, over the 70-50 area, while Apple is looking like this. So once again, this gives you conviction in the gap. Conviction in the gap. Some people, this makes them upset. They don't understand. They can't think. They want to keep buying all these dips in Apple. Let me buy, let me buy, let me buy, because the market is going to break out to new highs. The SPYs are trending up. I'm going to buy these dips. So the Apple is, of course, going to go up with the market. It's a fabulous company. Yes, it is. However, that's not the point of trading. The point of trading is to learn what's happening with the price and make money in the direction of the trend of the daily chart, reading the price. And what I have found over time, communicating with many, many people since I started trading, and specifically now that I know how to trade well, is that many people do not understand or know how to read not only gaps, but people cannot read trends on charts. And this is vital to making money. This obsession that people have trying to pick bottoms is so dangerous. I've discussed this before. And it is very dangerous in a stock like this, which is under pressure. Whatever the reason for it, it doesn't even matter. All you need to do is read the price. 100% read the price and what's happening. If you want to make money, that's what you have to do. We all like to have our certain things in our head, and many traders do. But if you ignore the price, you're not going to make money over the long run as a trader. So just learn how to read this stuff and read it correctly. And not only that, if you learn how to rate gaps based on my golden gap system, this is an opportunity of a lifetime. This is an opportunity of a lifetime. What's setting up now and could actually gap again is an opportunity of a lifetime. And when it turns, which is not now, it will be another opportunity of a lifetime. And how will you know? You will have to take my class and rate the gap, because not every bullish gap, just like not every bearish gap, is a golden gap. This is not a golden gap. This is a bullish gap that happened back in November. Now it is a bullish gap. Did it run up in the day green? Yes. It gapped up on the 8-period moving average and ran. I would never have bought this gap. I would never have said this is going to change and correct this chart that's been in a downtrend for the last 2 months. I would never have touched that. I would have read this gap as a rally into resistance, which is exactly what it ended up doing. and it dropped off again. This bar here happened, let's just count how many days. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It happened within 2 weeks. This green bar was completely wiped out and fell right back on top of itself after a measly, pitiless rally. One big green bar, a dinky green, and a medium green, and another little green in 11 days of trading. Can't even get above the 200 here when it did it. So play on the side of large money. The large money has been selling out of Apple. And that's what's been happening since here. And also shorting it now, quite frankly, because that's what's happening here too. The push down is going to happen, which is selling and shorting now, because this was such a high rated gap. And that's what happens in these. So in order to make money as a trader, you need to play on the side of the trend, and the trend is set by large institutional money. And large institutional money didn't buy this thing here today because it didn't go anywhere. And I would never have bought it. Why? I would have rated this on my golden gap system as a bullish gap, and it wouldn't have rated good enough for me to know that it was going to mean anything of any consequence on this chart other than a rally into resistance. That's all it did. It was a beautiful, beautiful rally into resistance. So the opportunity exists in Apple if you know how to rate the gap and play my system. Whenever it flips on the long side, and the next time it does a golden gap on the downside, which will mean another leg down, which has already happened here in this one, but could do it again. Many, many opportunities in here. And opportunities to come. So the Apple rating the day of the earnings, which I actually predicted. Live, real time in my trading room, I looked at charts every day before they come out, before the earnings come out, and I say, you know what, if this gap's down, I love this chart. I know it's going to rate well. I said that the morning before Apple. And do you know that it did it? It absolutely did it then. And it rated at 23 points then the day of the earnings to trade it. And then it continued. And all in here, people were talking about buying the dips. So this was a 23-point rated gap on my 26-point system. You could have entered this right here for a swing or core trade or traded it as a day trade. This was an opportunity. Something like this type of stock, this company, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to trade this properly. Why? Because the profits and the money to be made in something like this, when it wants to actually set a new trend or continue the current trend in a new leg and move down, which is what is happening right now because of this gap. This is all happening. Let's go back. Everything that's happening the last 2 months is because of this guy. You understand that? So even though it doesn't fall off a cliff the day of the gap, this isn't the first gap in the chart anyways, and there's many, many gaps in here, down gaps. But this was the sign for a new leg down. So therefore, I knew that nothing that this was doing in here was going to have any consequence on any side of the green side. Even if it dipped over this moving average, even if it dipped over this moving average, it doesn't matter. And by the way, this is not what a bottom looks like in a chart. And you don't buy bottoms anyways. It's not how to trade. That's trading against the money, by the way. When you decide I'm going to pick the bottom or I'm going to pick the top, you are guessing, thinking, hoping that you're getting the price before the big money decides to shift it. You're jumping the gun. You can't make money doing that. You get in when the chart is changing. Boom. You get in the day that it's changing. The day that it's changing was here. If you knew how to read and rate the gap based on my system. And you knew it was going to make another leg down here if you knew how to read and rate the gap based on my system. And how will you know that it's not a good one? You rate it the same thing, and therefore then you don't play it. Or you know this isn't what I call a corrective gap. A corrective gap means it's the new one. This is it. This is changing the trend now. That fixing itself, I call it, because it's been in a downtrend. This isn't a fixer. This is just a nothing, just a gap up. Stocks gap all the time. This was a nothing one too here. Look at that one. That didn't have any place to go. It didn't care about anybody. And do you see how this isn't a bother me either? So it's very important to learn how to trade gaps. And something like Aapl is an amazing chart because it is providing a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, because Aapl could decide to do something just like it's done for the last however many years, where it stays in the same trend for 100 years. And people think that that's the way to trade, but that's not the proper way to trade. The proper way to trade is to spot real, genuine opportunity, to know how to play it and then seize it fearlessly, by the way, because you have a good system that you know. And in my case, it's mine, the one that I teach. And it just so happens to be that I created this before this decided to do this thing. So the daily chart of Aapl is in a downtrend. And I hope everyone can see that. The 200 period moving average is even now in a downtrend. It's made a hill. The 50 period moving average is the green line here. It looks like a big mountain. The 20 also, mountainous region down. And the 8, you can see the 8 is a big drop off down. Here's where you see the rally up. Can barely go anywhere and drops off again. This is almost a straight line, actually, the 8. Whereas these other ones are hills. I don't want to make note, this 200 period moving average line on charts is rarely ever, they rarely look like this, all right? They usually look straight. What do I mean by straight? I mean straight, like straight all the way across, flat, or straight down, okay? Or straight up if a chart's been in an uptrend for a long time, which Aapl was. And at the time, then it looks straight up. This 200 period moving average is every year's worth of trading. Every 200 days, it doesn't change that often. It's usually flat or straight. And this line is bended now. This is the most bended line I've seen on the chart in a long time. It's actually bending. Like, I actually could take it and bend it here myself. If I just grabbed on it, I could bend it very easily now. That's a problem. That's a big problem. And this is another clue here. I'm teaching some stuff right now. All right. This line should not be able to be bent or touched or moved for anything to save its life. And this whole 200 period moving average right now, I could just grab onto this thing and bend it myself with my hand. That's a big problem. All right. That looks terrible. This is very dangerous. This isn't good for the chart picture as far as recovering. All right, soon. So here's a larger chart of Aapl. Just want to look at this. Just going back for a couple of years and seeing what happened here. Oh, here you can see the 200 period moving average. Do you see what I mean here? Look, very straight, and then even this is straight, and this is what's happened just recently since September. Look. So Aapl is a very successful company and has been very innovative and has run up the stock price. And, you know, I don't know what originally they ever predicted it to be at the highs up here when this happened. However, I think it's exceeded many people's expectations for where it ran up to. And a lot of people made a lot of money going long Aapl at the right places. And actually, even if you didn't go long Aapl at the right places, you made money just doing whatever. That's not the proper way to trade or invest, by the way. And you really can't do that anymore. We don't live in a market or an economy or a world. We don't live in a world economy that you can trade just crossing your fingers, investing in something, buying something, or giving your money to someone and say, buy this for me, close your eyes, and walk away and expect to have a huge profit in 5, 10 years or when you retire. If you expect to do that, or if you're looking to do that, good luck. The best thing you can do for yourself, then, you'd be better off putting your money in a CD somewhere, a certificate of deposit, so it's safe, and just earning a dinky amount of interest at 0.5%. Because you could lose your money in the market if you don't know how to trade properly. And you can't just willy-nilly invest in things hoping they're going to go up forever and ever. That doesn't happen. That's not realistic. That's not the world economy that we live in. If you invest your money yourself, or give your money to someone else. If you trade yourself or want to learn how to trade, and quite frankly, I think every person on the planet that wants to put money in the market, whether they press the button themselves and place the trade, or give their money to someone else, or invest their money with someone else, should know how to read charts. At least the basics of taking one class, like mine, for example, to know how to read charts, even if they're not going to actually take the trades. So they know what's really going on to read the stuff. You could give your money to someone else and read and rate the gap, and then you could call the person and say, I want to sell out of Apple. Here, I rated the gap. This is going to turn. Okay, all right, we'll sell you out, Mr. Smith, or whatever the case may be. So there's just no downside in learning how to read charts if you want to be a part of the market in any way, shape, or form. Any way, shape, or form. So it's just not wise to assume, and it's never good to assume anything, that stocks will run up forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. These are living, breathing things that move according to whatever direction they decide to move, and you read them and play the trend based on the gaps. And some gaps are nothing. Many gaps and many days of trading are absolutely nothing. Only what I call a golden gap or highly rated gap is a reason to do anything in the chart. But it is a reason to do something, and something very important. And in the case of Apple, it is huge opportunity because the stock has really been running up for a long time. And now it's making a new leg down, and it could make another new leg down soon. And also on top of that, will turn at some point. Now, how will you know when to get in? To go long it, because there will be opportunity when that happens as well. You would have to rate the gap and know if it's a real golden gap to get in the stock long. And that's the only way you get in this long now. This is a short. This is still a short. Now, you can't just get in this thing. You have to have an entry. And the entries have been going. The entry is the next time it does a golden gap. And for the most part, for right now, to me, this looks like it's getting ready to make another leg down because of this gap. Now, whatever happens the next earnings, we have to see. However, for now, this was the entry to go short on the next leg down because this was a golden gap. Will it do another golden gap in here anytime before the earnings? Possibly. And then that'll be another opportunity to short more, or short for the first time if you never shorted, to take it down again. You know, the other thing that I teach in my class is targets. There are many targets possible on a stock to trade during the day, or even, you know, swing or core trade. It depends if you want to be in this thing for a couple of days or a couple of weeks or a couple of months. You've got to have different target places. This is a real target place in here, and here, and here, and here. Now, will it make it all the way down there? Will it not do a corrective golden gap on the upside before then? I don't know. You watch the chart and read it. I just get up every day and I read what's going on. I read the price. That's the beauty about life and trading. I can read what's happening live. And the most important thing is what's happening right now. And here it is. It's doing exactly what I thought it would do with this guy. Continuing down. Even though the market's rallying and getting ready to break over that base. Here's a monthly chart of Apple. Really, really nice. You can see in here that there is a possibility of a target of $350. I mean, if I was trading this tomorrow morning and rolled out of bed and saw Apple gap down and wanted to trade it, you know, Monday morning, if I looked at a target, depending on where it would open at, I'd say, oh, $350 is a target, and I'd write it on the sheet. I can see that. That is very, 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 very clear to me. Now, will Apple get there? I don't know. I don't know if it's going to set up to do another golden gap. However, if it does, this is a real target. Now, without going crazy, I don't know how many more opportunities, although every one that it sets up is an opportunity of a lifetime, because this could set up many more times on the downside as far as golden gaps. And that is where the opportunity lies in trading, for this thing to continue making beautiful, fabulous moves. Here's the weekly chart. 375 is the target right in here. You can see it really nice, but here's this 350, which is stronger actually. Let's go back and look at that. Yeah. This 350 number is a lot stronger. Down in here in support, 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 and 350 is also resistance up into here. So that is a definite target. So on Thursday, Apple actually traded so beautifully. If you day traded, you could have traded Apple on a 5-minute chart. The entry time was 9:55. I'll go back and show you the chart on this. The entry was 450.44. The stop was over 451.80. And depending on your risk, if you risked 500 shares of it, took 500 shares and risked $680, you would have risked $1.36, and you could have made $4,200, which is 6.2 times the profit and the amount risked in just one play on a day that looked like next to nothing. Look here. But actually, this was a continuation gap. It gapped on Thursday and was a continuation gap from this gap here the day before, and also really this gap here, the gap that happened in January. It was a continuation gap into a beautiful, perfect target at the bottom of this green bar here, and it went past that actually and just ran out a day here where it fell. And here was the entry. Right here. Stop has to go over here, and it's Apple, so you give it a cushion. As soon as this triggers you're in, you could even lower your stop on here over here once this bar actually closes. Not until after it closes. But it should have set itself up. Why? Time of day. Time of day, this is 9:55. This should hold. And it shouldn't do any dingy little tails things. This had to run up right into the reversal time in the morning into 9:45. Set up, look at this, beautiful resistance. All this did was gap down and ran up into resistance, set up to go lower right in here, and you can put the stop over here tight. Why? It's the morning. It's the first 30 minutes of the day. You also save yourself a lot by doing that in the risk, even though I priced it in for the full risk, which was over here. But after this bar closes, you can put it over there, and you know what? It never came across it. Never came on top of it. Fell. And then after this falls in here, if you're trying to hold it for the bigger target, you have to put the stop over the base, and you let it drop. And as soon as this gets into 230, it's too late to still be in trades, and it's past the target anyways. Remember, the original target was the bottom of that green bar. I'll show you in a minute. As soon as this bar goes up green, you're out. Let me go back and show you. This was the target and it went past it. So this was, you were already into the base area. That's why you have to put the stop over the base. And it went under it. Beautiful, beautiful, nice trade. So, you know, yes, you risked $680, but you made 6.2 times the profit. The way that this chart is trading is so beautiful. It's providing these kinds of amazing entries where the risk to reward is good. And this, again, my system, the Golden Gap, has this. And the continuation gaps that happen, the continuation gaps even provide entries like this with high risk to reward on the profit, meaning the amount that you risk, you're going to make really good profit on the amount that you risk. And that is really part of the objective is trading as well, which is why it's great if you can get one of these gaps on the Golden Gap the very first turn, or a highly rated one into it, like that one that happened in January that rated 23 points, where you know that it has more energy, more room to go down. And that's what happened. So if you wanted to swing trade this and actually get in the first day of the gap, and I'll go back and show you the chart. The price was $690 because you wait till almost to the close to get in. Because you know you're going to get in already because you rated the gap in the morning. You're going to try to get in. You're going to try to get in, you know, as best as you can. But the stock was green on the day. I'll go back and explain it. The stop was over 705, which is the top, and I'll explain that too. So the risk was $15. If you just took 200 shares, you would have risked $3,000. And the exit was the bullish gap that happened in November. Even though it wasn't a highly rated one, you would have had to take profits out in there for a swing trade. This isn't a core trade, and I'll show you in a minute. And the price to get out of that was $541. The total profit you would have made on this is $29,000 $800, which is 9.9 times the profit on the amount risked in just one play. Again, huge results in 2 months. So let's just go back. This was the first day that it gapped. Now, it didn't end up trading smoothly on this day of the gap. All right, it came in, there was a short in here, it was tough. However, you get in this day for the actual swing trade or the core trade if you want to. The stop has to be above here. Now, you could have actually had a hard stop over this bar, but there was enough confirmation and conviction that this was the top to put it over there in case, so you don't just decide to kill it if it dings up a little bit. Because this bar here actually went smoother the next day. You can see how this had a better move the next day. And it could have dinged up there a little bit before it went into itself. So you have to figure and price in the stopping over these guys. Now this isn't overnight. So the stop is a paper stop where you're taking it out if it gaps over these people then. So anyways, you get in here, and it was close to the close, is around $690 because it didn't act exactly perfect the day of the gap as a short, so you're not worried about it running into getting a worse price into it. So you try to get into it just in the close because it did trade green on the day. So then it had a nice run down, and you just followed through, and there was no reason to stress about anything at all in this, actually. Even this day here, you would have been up so much money into this day. When it went green, you would said, okay, fine, I'm going to watch this, but then it immediately reversed on itself again. Beautiful, beautiful chart. Reversed on itself then right away is the next day. So you would say, okay, fine. So you'd still be in it. Now this day here did the bottoming tail with a green head. You could have considered taking profits out that day into the close. And then it did gap up the next day. And then here's where you take it out. This is the swing trade, all right? So if this was just for 2 months, this was just a swing trade, and you could have made almost 10 times the amount of the money. Okay, just because of a beautiful, beautiful golden gap setup. All of these provide good risk to reward. However, you have to know where to get in them and where to get out of them. And you have to even know what to do with them. You have to even know that this is good. You have to know this is good. You have to know this is good. How do you know that this is just nothing? Because you rate it. So the golden gap offers power to do various kinds of trading. And specifically tonight, the reason that I'm talking about Apple is because there has been opportunity. Huge opportunity, and the reason I'm doing this tonight is because there is going to be more. In fact, again, I said this earlier, to learn how to trade this golden gap with the way that this Apple is setting up now, the way that this is acting, and what this is doing, it's right now, this is an opportunity of a lifetime, because you won't get huge, big players like this doing stuff like this all the time. You just won't. And yet Apple is doing it. So learn how to take advantage when opportunity arises in big stocks that change their trend in gaps or make a new leg down, like is what's happening right now with Apple right now, but you had to get in the gap in January. Or you would wait and rate the next one. Now, whether the next one is good or not, I don't know. I don't know when it'll be. But you rate it and find out, and then you know you could play it for another leg down. Where will it go? Well, there's many, many targets on that chart. And I don't want to go over them all tonight because I don't want to make people panic what I really, really think this is going, to be honest with you. I'm not even going to put it out there. I said something to a friend the other night, and he thought it was crazy. And I'm not crazy. I'm reading all the things that the chart is doing, and I will continue to do so. And as soon as Apple does a bullish corrective gap on the long side, and I rate it and it's a golden gap, that is an entry for a long trade. I'll say that too. Right now, that is not what's happening. Right now, Apple is in a downtrend and just did a beautiful 23-point rated gap in January, which hasn't really gone anywhere yet. Let's go back and look at that a minute. This hasn't really gone anywhere yet. That's how I know there's going to be another opportunity setting up very soon. This gap down here came in, rallied up, came in, rallied up. This hasn't done its full on yet. Like this did this here, and this is full on into it. This hasn't done that yet. You see what I'm saying? But it's getting ready. So learn how to trade gaps by taking the Golden Gap course, which is the class that I teach. And once you learn how to trade gaps, it will change your entire perspective on trading and making money in the market. I'm 100% serious. Learning the Golden Gap system is an opportunity of a lifetime. It's an opportunity of a lifetime because I'm one woman, one individual that has created a system that is so amazing that it took me over 3 years to do, that I'm seeing play out real time in Aapl. And I created this before this chart started setting up. And this chart is playing out perfectly with my system. I knew my system was like gold when I figured it out. It took me so long to do it. And I've been trading and doing it and making money, doing it myself. And then I decided to teach people, but that is an opportunity. I may not teach people for the rest of my life. In fact, I won't. All right? And whether or not you decide to take my class before Aapl does something that creates another huge opportunity again is up to you. It is the opportunity of a lifetime to learn how to trade a stock like Aapl correctly, and many other market stocks. However, Aapl is one of those special companies and charts that is setting up right now that correlates absolutely perfectly with my system. So my system is an opportunity of a lifetime to learn it from me. And so is Aapl setting up that way, that if you take my class and learn how to do it, you can get it on the downside at the next Golden Gap and on the upside when it's ready to do it, whenever that happens to be. These opportunities do not happen all the time, these huge opportunities like something in Aapl, where you can make such a huge amount of money if you decide to trade this correctly and really learn when to get in. Instead, people would prefer to pick bottoms and tops, and that's insane. And you can't make money doing that. And this is the way to do it. I mean, it is the way to do it. And that's why I'm saying trading gaps, and once you learn my system, it will change your entire perspective on trading. I mean, it really will. So timing is everything in life and trading. It really is. It's about spotting the opportunity. Spotting the opportunity in someone, you know, something that will create profits and money for yourself when you've been investing or dabbling in trading the market off and on, doing different things and not really getting anywhere with it. You yourself have to spot the opportunity. The opportunity by learning from someone like me. And the opportunity in something like Aapl. And knowing how to correctly trade it, because even if you see that there's opportunity there, if you don't know how to trade it correctly, if you don't know how to read gaps, then it will end up being a problem for you because you can lose a lot of money trading Aapl in the wrong direction, as some people have. We were trying to pick all the bottoms that were happening all the way down there into the drop, but it's just making its new way down again, which I did tell people. And I don't even know if anybody believed me. So timing is everything in life and trading. You've got to ask yourself, how badly do you want it? How badly do you really want to make money? You can do lots of things on this planet to make money. You can go get up and work at a job every day, 5, 6, 7 days a week. You can get a part-time job, a full-time job. You can work for the rest of your life. Work your butt off if you want to. Or you can really buckle down and learn how to trade. And it may take you time. You may have to take my class. You may have to learn it. You may have to do the work. You've got to ask yourself, how badly do you want it? This stuff doesn't happen overnight. But that's what I'm saying. You've got to learn it so that when the opportunity arises, you'll know what to do and you will be able to do it. Otherwise, the opportunity will come up and you'll have no clue what to do. And trust me, if you're late, jumping on the bandwagon, that's the people that lose, not the people that win. That's not how you make 6, 7, 8, 9 times or more the amount of money and profit on the risk. There's a huge advantage in getting good at one thing, and I have absolutely proved that not only to myself, but to the people that have taken my class and the people that are learning from me. I know and have 100% conviction that there is a huge advantage in getting good at one thing. I've proven that to myself. I've been saying that for a long time, and I never really understood until just maybe the last 6 months of even my own trading the huge advantage and getting good at one thing, specifically in the world economy that we live at today. So the class I teach is the Golden Gap course, and I've been talking about this tonight. And some of you already know or have heard about my class, and I'm going to talk about it a little bit more. The Golden Gap course teaches a 26-point rating system to find the best gap to play each day. This 2-day seminar, it's a 2-day seminar, also teaches 6 different plays. Each play teaches how to enter and exit the gap trade. The play is important because this is how you make money. Opportunities exist right now in Apple. However, if you don't know how to play it, how are you going to make money? You cannot get in stuff and ride it in the opposite direction until it rallies into a resistance or support. And either way you're playing it, you can't just ride stuff like that. You will be down then until it rides itself back around. That's not the right way to trade. You've got to learn how to get in these things. So, reasons to take the Golden Gap course is number 1, learn how to pick the right stock symbol to trade. Number 2, learn the right direction to trade the stock based on the daily chart. Number 3, learn the correct entry to trade the stock. Number 4, learn the proper timing to exit the trade to book the money. And this goes for you yourself as an individual trader, or you yourself as an individual investor, or you yourself, even if you have money with someone else, a stockbroker, anyone, you've got to take this upon yourself to learn it, to at least learn how to read the chart, to sit at home in front of your computer to rate the gap. If something that you're invested in has a gap, so you'll know whether or not you want to get in or out of it correctly, because that is going to have a lot to do with you booking the money or making money. So the Golden Gap course is a multifaceted system. It is multi-purpose, which is another amazing thing about the system. The Golden Gap course teaches you a multi-purpose rating system. The system can be used to choose the stock symbol to trade based on your needs and time frame, whatever they happen to be. The 26-point rating system rates gaps with such high quality that they can be used for various time frames, long or short time frames. You can learn the Golden Gap rating system and play the stock in 3 different ways: day trading, swing trading, or core trading. So this is about short-term or long-term wealth. Whatever you decide, in whatever manner you choose to trade it and invest in it. And the complexity and detail in the Golden Gap system is what makes one of the most special things about it and makes it so valuable. Because the Golden Gap rating system looks at 26 points in a daily chart to determine if the gap is highly rated. If the gap rates 20 plus points, then you will know that you can play it on the day to make money. The Golden Gap rating system is also designed for traders to pick a stock symbol that will provide a momentum move. The biggest feature of the Golden Gap course is the intricacy in the rating system and the detail. And this is what gives you an edge in your trading. And you've got to have that. An edge in your trading, an edge in your investing, what you're deciding to do with your money. You must have that in today's world, in the market. It is vital to read charts in a detailed manner. I cannot stress that enough. The Golden Gap teaches an exceptionally high level of technical analysis. Exceptionally high level of technical analysis. Now, if you do not have an advanced ability in technical analysis, you can learn that from me. And if you don't have a basic one, you can learn that from me. But I will tell you that it is going to be on an advanced level. You can get it, though. And even if you don't know anything at all about reading charts, if you start out with someone like me, it's the best place to start, because you're not going to know things that are incorrect. And even though you have to study it, that's okay. That's okay. You are capable of studying and learning new information and high-level information. You are capable of it. You have a brain that works. The Golden Gap rating system gives you all the tools you need to trade. In the system itself, the rating system, the plays, all you need to do is say, yes, I want to do it. I am going to learn this information. I want to do this because I want to make money in the market. So, the Golden Gap system and the Golden Gap course is more than a course. It's a complete system. It is a system that gives you conviction to trade the stock in multiple time frames, and the detail and precision in the system will help you profit, which is why you would be trading in the first place or investing. The Golden Gap course is a complete system, and it's a system that really is a trading plan for you to use to trade. I mean, it really is a comprehensive plan that you could just use as your trading plan. You would just decide the amount of money you want to risk. Trading is about making money. And in order to make money, you need a system that will give you an edge to trade stocks correctly. You must have this. And part of that is really an exceptionally advanced way to read charts based on technical analysis and price patterns. This is all the price patterns. And I have to give myself credit for continuing to get better at doing this, continuing to improve my own skills despite all the static and noise that people say or things that they say to me. I ignore it all. And I'm getting better and better and better and better at reading charts because I know that that's where it's at. I just know that that's where it's at. What the price is doing right now, that is where it's at. So making money trading is about producing results. And if you do not have a system that is producing results, then I suggest you contact me about taking my class. The Golden Gap course is a complete system. So learn something new for you to make money. You will be rewarded for your efforts. This is a fortune cookie. If you decide to take my class, and if you decide to learn how to trade, and if you decide you want to make money in something new in your life, and really invest the time to study and learn it, you will be rewarded for your efforts. You have to learn it, though. I find many people want to just run out and just pick a bottom in a stock like Apple. That's not getting an edge in your trading. Okay, that's not learning anything. Anyone could say, oh, I think this is a bottom. I think I'm going to buy it here. No, that's not an edge. Making money in the market requires an edge. There's too many players. And most importantly, you have to be on the side of the big money, and that's how you have to learn how to read what's going on with the price very well. So this is about empowering yourself to do it. I'm the teacher, I'm teaching you, but I'm empowering you with the information. You're the one that's going to do it. You're the one that's going to make the money and take the trades and change your life in this regard. I'm going to empower you with the information, and that in and of itself is powerful. And that's where this opportunity of a lifetime exists for you to learn from someone like me, to be able to take that information and trade a stock like Apple, which is creating huge opportunity that is setting itself up. Setting itself up. So I'm going to close tonight with another motivational quote that's very important about success. One secret of success in life is for a man to be ready for his opportunity when it comes. You must be ready. You must be ready for the opportunity. If you are not ready, it will pass you by. If you're not ready, you might not spot it. If you are not ready, you might spot it, but you won't be able to seize it because you won't know what to do, and then it will be too late. The secret of success lies in grasping the opportunities, and it's more than just spotting it. It has to do with being ready for it. Preparation. I get up at 6 o'clock in the morning to get ready to trade and rate my gaps, and I'm starting my room at 8 a.m. and the market doesn't open until 9:30. Preparation for success is everything. Everything in trading, everything in life. This is a quote by Benjamin Disraeli, by the way. So the next class I'm doing is the Golden Gap course, and it is April 13th and 14th. And the time is 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Time. The cost of the class is $19.99. If you are interested in reserving your space, and I suggest you do so ahead of time, because I only take a certain number of people each class. If you are interested, then contact me at melissa@thestockswoosh.com to sign up ahead of time to make sure that you get in. I already have a few people that are signed up. Your path to success is the Golden Gap course. Your path to success in trading a stock like Apple is to know what it is doing, to spot the opportunity in a Golden Gap it's setting up, and then to seize that opportunity and to stick with the trade and have conviction and make money in it. Huge, huge opportunity in Apple. Setting up, getting ready to set up again, and it's going to set up. It's going to set up again. So are you going to know what to do? Are you going to be able to spot it? Many people have been thinking that Apple's been bottoming out, and they were thinking they were spotting some opportunity on the long side. That was completely erroneous. Do you understand how important it is to learn this stuff so you even know how to spot the opportunity? For your own money to invest. This is about you investing your own money to make money. You've got to know, you can't squander your money investing in stuff or trading in stuff that makes no sense. You've got to learn something good. If you're interested, I also have a live trading room. The cost for the room is $200 a month for students who have taken my Golden Gap class already. And for non-students, it's $250 a month. The hours are 8 to noon. This is a very focused trading room that plays gaps based on technical analysis. And I also teach another class that has nothing to do with chart reading, but everything to do with your mind and your brain and your thought processes about wealth. And what a beautiful, beautiful rainbow and pot of gold picture to end this presentation tonight on Aapl. Talk about manifesting wealth. To be able to learn how to trade Aapl correctly, the next time it does a Golden Gap, it will be a huge opportunity for anyone that decides to take my class and learn it. And this wealth manifestation class I teach is going to be on April 18th from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Time. The cost is $350. However, I am running a special for April. All Golden Gap class students on the April 13th and 14th class will receive the wealth manifestation class as a bonus. You can do this as a separate course, but those of you that will be in the Golden Gap class on the 13th and 14th will get this class on the 18th as a bonus for free. So it's 2 for the price of 1. And for those of you that want to just take the wealth manifestation class, I'm offering 1 month free in the stock swoosh trading room with that class for the cost of $350. So for more information on either one of these courses, the wealth manifestation class or the Golden Gap class, which is the main class, is going to teach you how to make money trading. Although the wealth manifestation class is an amazing, amazing course that talks about things that go on in your brain and your mind and your head that are so important to create wealth and abundance in your life. And everything that Aapl is doing is setting up and that even Aapl is even manifesting everything that I discuss in the wealth manifestation class, talking about taking risk, talking about opportunity, talking about not having fear, talking about focusing on the knowledge to create the wealth. Thank you so much for listening tonight. I hope you learned about gaps. I hope you learned about the chart of Aapl. And I hope you realize that preparing for success, to be able to spot and seize opportunity and preparing for that ahead of time is going to take you where you need to go financially with investing in the market, with your own personal trading, and into your success, your financial success, and your financial benefit in 2013. Have a great night, everyone. Thank you for coming. Have a wonderful evening.